Hi, welcome to my first ever YouTube guitar tuition video. In this video I'd like to talk about Jimi Hendrix, who's my #1 guitar player, of course, and offer you 10 ways to improve your playing abilities and get sounding a bit more like him. The first thing I should explain is that he was a genius, and it's impossible to replicate what he did because he spent his life perfecting his art and got to where he was, and you can spend your life studying him and you might come close. I've kind of done that. I mean, I haven't just studied Hendrix, but that's kind of what I've done. But it's not about becoming Hendrix, it's about learning from him and looking at some of his stuff. I would love to do a full series of videos, and I could look at Voodoo Child. I've got all the tabs for loads of his stuff, and if people are interested, let me know. I will continue to look into Jimi Hendrix, but this is more 10 guitar playing and musical ways to improve. So let's dive straight in. #1 is practice. Practice, practice, practice. It may sound obvious, but you'd be amazed what people think they can do to become good. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So to master an instrument, you do the math. That's something like 5 hours a day for 6 years, every single day, or something ridiculous. But it's more just to let you know that you've got to put in the hours if you want to get as good as Jimi Hendrix. So practice, practice, practice. Yeah. #2 would be improvise. Get used to making stuff up. The more you make things up, the more creative you'll be, and you're getting into creative zone, which is what music is really about. So go wild. In fact, that's what Hendrix did. He didn't let anything hold him back. Explore the sounds you get out of the guitar. If you don't know the scales and you don't know everything yet, go into it. Just feel your way around. He did talking guitar, which is literally nonsense. That's just, I don't know what that was, but that sounded like something. He did a lot of that, right, that's part of improvisation. It's all going in the same direction. Play over 12-bar blues, learn to solo over 12-bar, just feel your way through it. Play the minor pentatonic scale, doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you've got classical training background, you probably won't have been doing any improvisation, and amazing classical musicians, put them in front of a 12-bar and say improvise, they won't know what to do at all. So improvisation is key. Jimi was all about improvisation. So #3 is practice in time. Now, that thing you do when you're learning a riff and you go, oh no, I got it wrong, I'll start again. Oh no, I just got it wrong, I'll start again. Right, stop doing that, because that is training your brain to think it's fine to muck up and to start again and to not be musical. So when I say practice in time, you need to play to yourself when you're in your bedroom as if you were performing to an audience. So something I'll do is I'll just, it's just feeling the pulse whilst playing a bit of chords. You can start throwing in a bit of lead, and that's exactly what Hendrix did. So, it would be like, one chord, something else. Keep in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Just keeping in time, getting in the habit of playing in time. And I assume you want to play in front of an audience at some point, and if you get in the habit of doing that in your own time, it will come more naturally when you play in front of other people. So that's a great little habit. I do that all the time, and you can just improvise, play it, but keep it in time, keep it musical, learn to thread it all together, the rhythm parts, the lead parts, go through different chord changes. Still allow yourself to be led and like as if you're improvising, but keep it in time, keep it musical. Okay, number 4, it's specifically bends. Practice your bends. Do not neglect your bends. I think that bends are probably the number one thing guitarists neglect. Excellent guitarists can shred away, sounds amazing, but the bends fall down a bit, or they're not, you know. So you want to get that. That is a full tone bend. That's your D up to E. Oh, by the way, my guitar is in E flat tuning. It makes bending easier actually, because there's less tension on the strings. You have to go a little bit further, but you don't have to push quite as hard. So you have to sort of relearn the distances for bending if you're in E flat. But it's actually great, and Hendrix used E flat towards the end of his career. It's just another tune. It's just another way of doing it. Learn both, you know, learn both tunings. But this one's in E flat. So we're going from the D. It's not D, but we're in E flat. But I'll say D because you know what I'm talking about. High D up to RE, yeah. That's a full tone bend. So 2 frets. Get that perfect, and you got immediate. You got slow. You've got pause. You've got bend down. One thing that he loves to do is go. That's just being expressive, you know. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing now. I'm just going. Feeling it. That's what bends are about. For bends, you have to listen. You have to use your ear. Very important thing to develop as a musician, and you have to go for it, and you have to not be afraid of the pain that you're going to be getting in your fingers, particularly on the high string. That's the hardest one to bend because it's the thinnest and it's got the most tension on it, so it's going to cut into those fingers and it's going to be painful, but go for it and get there. Learn those bends. I mean, you should really be able to do not just 2 frets, you should be able to do 2 full tones, which would be. Yeah, that's not easy. I don't do that a lot, but learn that stuff. Fast bends. The stuff's tricky, you know. You have to get loose, and it's a lot of practice involved in getting that fast, but that's classic Hendrix, lots of bending. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 would be trills. Practice your trills. Hendrix did a lot of these trills. You should be able to do this anywhere. Tremolo there, and you should be able to keep doing this for a long time. It's not something that's, you know, it does. I can feel it starting to cramp up a bit now. Maybe change finger, and you should be able to do it real fast. So that's just a simple thing that you can learn to do. Hendrix did a lot of. Included in trills would be hammer-ons and pull-offs. You know, he was doing that all over the place. Part of your rock practice schedule anyway, I'm sure. So trills. Number 6. Learn theory. Learn harmony and theory, and then forget about it. Music is for life, yeah? It's not just a short-term hobby. You know, if you want to just spend a little bit of time learning a few chords and sing and be the next Justin Bieber or Billie Eilish or somebody, then go ahead, that's cool. But I'm talking about mastering your instrument and being expressive. And, you know, this is something I've been doing for my 20 years, my entire life pretty much. And I've learnt theory, and I don't think about it much these days, but, you know, it's very, very useful. I cannot stress enough what a gift it is to understand music in the same way you would understand, I don't know, cars or something. True artists, I would say, take it seriously on that level. Like, people are afraid of learning theory because they're worried it's going to program their brain to think differently, which I guess it does. You know, it gets you to think inside this box. The main question: what is diatonic harmony? Do you know what diatonic harmony is? That is the fundamental rules of music, modern music, Western music. Diatonic harmony. Learn them. Learn the rules, and then, you know, it might take some time. It took me a very long time. And then once you've learnt the rules, you can go about breaking them. Rules are made to be broken, and I would say that you can't break them if you don't know what they are. Of course, Jimi Hendrix didn't know how to read music, but he certainly knew about music theory. If you said to him, you know, let's play a jam in C sharp, we're going to start on a ninth chord, we're going to do a 1, 4, 5, and then we're going to change to the key of E flat, he'd have known what to do. He wouldn't have been going, oh, I don't know. You know, he was a genius, yeah. So learn that stuff. Anyone who's decent knows a bit about music theory, basically. Okay, so that's number 6. Number 7, we play loud. Yeah, if you're not used to playing loud, get yourself your amp, buy that Marshall stack that you're wondering about getting, and turn it up loud, and muck about with it. You know, it's quite a different beast. So when you're playing, I love to play just without an amp at all, but I've played loud a lot as well, and the guitar's a bit of a different beast when you're playing acoustically too. This is not that loud, but you've got notes that are going to ring out. You've got feedback wanting to come through. When you go, you know, that's going to be like, it's going to be a huge sound rather than this theoretical. What's that? I don't know. But once you plug in, play loud, get your access to those amps, learn to use the volume pot. Through playing loud, you will learn also to play quietly. You learn about dynamics. You know, you'll be going. I haven't touched the volume pot, but you know, you've got that too. Learn to use that. Jimmy certainly used that volume pot to make it, you know. I can go a lot louder than that, but not for this video. Yeah, so play loud and learn about dynamics. The Stratocaster guitar is a particularly good one for dynamics. The single coil pickups give a lot of dynamic range. If you're playing a guitar with humbuckers, learning to control that dynamic range is not going to be as you're not going to be able to go as far between loud and quiet with a humbucker, basically, because a humbucker is more of a rocking, straight up rocking sound, loud. Yeah, so that's number 7. Number 8, we're going to say talking guitar. Now this is one I haven't even developed this that much, but Jimmy was, you know, this whole just stuff that doesn't even make sense, you know. Wah, get that wah wah pedal out. I haven't got one here right now, but wah wah, make it talk. This is music with no frame of reference. It's not in a key. It's not, oh, play the pentatonics. It's just getting sounds out of the guitar, talking. It's very expressive. Go for a sound, you know. If you hear something and you think that sounds rad, try and replicate it on the guitar. Be experimental. So talking guitar, practice your talking guitar. Wah wah is going to help that. Wah wah wah. It makes it sound like a mouth, like talking guitar. Number 8. Number 9. God, we're getting through it, eh? Sing what you play. Sing what you play. Have you ever tried this? You know, sing what you play. It doesn't even have to be the same note, but you know, singing engages our brain in a more musical way than just using your hands. it gets you into your body, and it gets you using your ears because you have to hear what you're pitching. And when you unite your voice and the guitar, you train your musical expression to be musical rather than to be technical. Yeah. So unite the voice and guitar, learn to hear what you want to play and play it. So it's kind of links into some of the other ones I've been talking about, and it gets you using your ears because you have to hear the thing. And Jimmy did this all the time. A lot of his tracks have got united guitar and voice. Voodoo Child, just loads of them have got that. It's a classic blues thing which he utilised. So yeah, sing what you play, practice that. Very good exercise. It might be tricky at first, but definitely worth it. So that brings me to the last one. Number 10, ways to improve your playing. I would say be yourself. Be yourself. You know, you can spend a long time chasing these icons, these idols, and ultimately it will end up making you feel not good enough, which is not what we want. We don't want that. So be yourself, be bold, learn your own style. These techniques, these greats, you can look into that, you can spend time studying it, but essentially you want that to reference your own playing. You want to take away from it, and you want to do your own thing. It's not about becoming someone else or imitating someone else, unless you specifically want to be in a covers band. I would say it's much more important to establish your own style. Don't try to be Hendrix, because he's taken. Yeah. Do it for yourself. Why are you doing music? What, you know, think about that. Think about what you want to do with it. You've got a message you want to say. You just want to be impressive. Why is it you're doing it? And stick to that and be true to that. I'd say that Hendrix didn't care about what the world thought about him in an astonishing way. He was utterly driven and utterly off the wall, and he had complete faith in doing something completely different and wild. And he kind of had nothing to lose in the way that he did that, which is why it was so powerful and why he made such an impact, and why he was kind of, he certainly was someone that people followed, and he was also someone that people in authority were probably quite afraid of. Just a little mention, he did experiment a lot with drugs. I'm not going to condone anyone taking drugs, but that is definitely a big part of why he was so boundary breaking. He took a lot of LSD. It's a dangerous thing to muck about with, but it's something to think about. Be careful if you do this. Be very careful, and it can be a route to being more creative and discovering new things. So that's 10 things. I'm going to sneak one extra one in there. It's not included in the 10, but play standing up. If you're used to just playing sitting down, just play standing up. Gets your body moving. It gets you into, if you're going to be performing, you're not going to be sitting down. Or you don't do a gig with you don't go wild guitar solos sitting down. You want to be standing up. Just do that. Just practice standing up. Cool. So thank you very much for watching. This has been 10 ways to improve your guitar playing. I've got 10 more, I've got 20 more, I've got 100 more if you're interested. So let me know. And I hope you've enjoyed my first ever tuitional guitar video. Thank you very much. My name is Rohan Black. Cheers.